Hello and welcome. Yes, you're on to Let It Be podcast with Susan Uzono and
Lysias and Susan.
For those of you watching for the first time, Let It Be is actually a podcast targeted at bringing to you relatable experiences, stories, encounters, just for you to know you are not alone. I tell you, one of our major goals is to talk to those that are, making impact, those that really want to leave, their foot in the sand of time, those that will make a difference. Yes, if you belong to that category or you've ever dreamt of just, adding to the world that you see around you in your own special way, then this is a podcast for you. So we're going to be talking about something amazing. I just want you to relax and just, go with the flow. But first of all, you know what to do. Let it be. We would love you to subscribe, like the button, share, click that, notification bell so that anytime a video drops, you are part of it. So we're going to be talking about something amazing, and then that is angels in human form. Have you heard that word before? We believe, that there's something like angels in human form. That experience where someone comes into your life and you're like, where have you been all this while? Not just, in a romantic relationship, but that person that you needed showed up at that time. It could be maybe for a lifetime, or it could be just once in a while, but the person showed up. Okay, so Lysias is going to be playing a guest to me, and we're going to be doing both sides anyway. So I wanted to ask you, angels in human form, do you believe in it?
I do. Basically because one, the Bible says there are also angels in human form, and the Bible admonishes us to be nice to people. The reason is the Bible categorically said that entertain strangers, because by so doing some people have entertained angels without knowing.
Yeah.
All right, but the angels in physical form also, we're talking, angels, they come in physical form. Distinguishing between an angel and who is not an angel is more of a personal touch. You get to experience them, but be advised, don't get all worked up because you haven't found that one person who could stand by you through thick and thin. Okay. Basically, those are the angels we're talking about.
Okay, that's amazing. Right, I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you almost did not believe that it happens again. Sometimes what we believe in can be shaken because of an encounter, an experience that is, not palatable, that left a sour taste in your mouth. Have you had that type of experience?
Yes, I have. I had a friend, we met in a work environment. We actually became very close, and because of my own position of responsibility, I took it upon my own self also to cover for him most of the time, because he had families and then issues were coming up, so I had to cover for him quite a number of times. But the sad thing was, after leaving that work space or work environment, we needed to do something together. So I was to him the go-to person that he will always come and find out, okay, how to go about this, how to go about that, how to put it up and all that, and we're expected to work together. You understand? Now this was the planning stage. You understand? Now the implementations and the running, we were supposed to work together. But when it got to when we were supposed to work together, incidentally, he went and he brought in his own cousin.
Oh.
All right. So and left me out of the loop. So I was trying to find out what's going on. He kept me in the dark until I realized that, this is what played out. I felt really bad. I felt bad because I put in a lot, my time, resources, but that's how it played out. So I felt bad, and at the point I started believing that you had to find what you're going to get from every relationship, rather than being open to give without expecting something in return. It made me selfish. Let me just use that word.
That kind of experience is usually very painful. I mean, something started up as it looks heavenly, and all of a sudden it's looking like it's leading to hell. So it's usually very painful, and sometimes it's so hard for people to just want to move on. It's so hard for people to move on from what really started off as something angelic. We're using the word angelic today just to connote the fact that it was almost perfect. Our relationship was almost perfect, and then all of a sudden, many of us are not, our hearts is not prepared for that switch. All of a sudden, I believe strongly that joy cannot turn to sadness overnight. Rather, and also love cannot turn to hate overnight. I believe that's strong. I believe that these are very strong emotions on their own, standing alone on their own. So my question, however, is how did you move? I believe strongly that there are people out there watching us, and maybe you were at a point where a relationship started and it looked all angelic, where have you been all my life? And then all of a sudden it went sour, One thing I really want to mention here, Lysias, is that these things happen. It happened. First and foremost, we must open our hearts. You hear people say, have a large heart. How large can that heart be? But I believe that it means that we must, create room for this eventuality. Things that maybe did not, make us happy, but these things happen. So now what we want to hear from you is, how did you now move on? You said it made you selfish, and guess what? On Let It Be, we're all about, adding and all about being positive. Okay, so how did you move on? Because if you're here today, it means you moved on.
Yes.
How did you move on from that stage? What were the things that came to you? Did you do something? We just want to know.
The first thing that helped me move on was the fact that this was just one person we're talking about. We're in a country of 250 million people, and I'm having just one encounter with one person. For me, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough for me to judge the majority as being the same. All right. So that helped me. I believed that, look, there is a possibility that there will be somebody out there also who also have a good heart, who wouldn't stab me literally in the back like that happened. All right, so that helped me. And then secondly, I asked myself a question. I said, if I have opportunity and I need someone who will be able to do something, all right, and I look around and I realize that this same fellow has the potential to do that, all right, what will I do in that circumstance? And I looked at it and I said, for the fact that he's competent enough to do that thing, and maybe he is the only one I know who could do that thing, I will still give him that opportunity to do it.
Okay.
Why? Because I'm helping him to better his own life, because he has a family, he needs to take care of his family. All right. So for me, that helped me to move beyond that. No grudges, no hard feelings. That's just it.
All right. So do you have direct, maybe in few words, to someone watching you, just in case you have experience or you're experiencing, a relationship issue that just went sour? Do you have any direct word to someone watching right now?
I believe I do. Ask yourself the same thing I asked myself. All right. We're in a country of over 200 million people. This is just one individual. So there's a possibility you can also meet someone else who will be nicer and who will, take the burden off you. Secondly, opportunities. Okay.
Yeah.
Opportunities abound. Don't limit yourself. Don't restrict yourself.
So I know if you're here, you have moved on. All right. So any word for someone out there on how to just move on when you've had that experience of someone just switching off on you, becoming something else, at some point in your relationship?
Yeah, basically two advice: do the same thing I did. Yes, which is one, ask yourself one question. This is one person in the country of 250 million and there are and above. You understand? So it's just one person. Is it enough for you to decide that everybody is bad? No, it's not enough. So that should tell you that's the number one. Number two, you have to be happy. All right, he or she hurt you, did whatever they did. Move on. Look for happiness somewhere else. You would definitely find. Okay, and don't restrict yourself. Yes, don't restrict yourself. Be happy, groove, mingle. Then you will meet that one person.
One thing I feel that can also help, just in case you're listening and watching, wherever you're watching from, one thing I know can help is don't expect too much from people. There's a saying that when you show people love, it doesn't mean that those people also have the love to show you back. So don't expect too much from people. And also, secondly, pay attention to those little things that people ignore. I remember, when I was working in a television station, and that day I came to work, it was just I wasn't happy. There were so much things going on, and I remember the gates man. We had a security man. That's what they call them now. We have a security man, and he called me and he said, an elderly man at that. He said, "Susan, what's going on?" I said, "I'm having a rough morning. Everybody's just on my neck for something I didn't do. I was the head of a department and somebody messed up. What hurt me more was that she deliberately messed up because she wanted my position. So I wasn't happy." And I remember this elderly man telling me that, "Susan, the challenge is that you are expecting the wrong emotion from the wrong people. Have you thought of how we, the security people, welcome you? Have you thought of how we say goodbye when you're going? Say, there's this smile you walk into the office with that gives me." The man was saying it and I was so surprised. He says, "That gives me hope." He said, I have children back home, but when you come into that gate and I look at you, I'm like, you're so also, positive with your smiles and you're telling everybody, how was your night? And then he said that keeps us going. Please just look at, anytime you come to work, even if they're fighting, you just look at me and find that strength. And that you won't believe it's been so long, but it just stuck to me that sometimes we ignore the fact that we have siblings, we have friends that still love us. And I'm saying this specifically to someone listening and watching. You're still loved, you're still loved. You're still loved by a lot of people. Yeah, they may not get to show it, or maybe they are not around you to show it, but no one is really lonely. If you look at it, you're from a place, you live with people, and you're working somewhere people still love. I mean, I've not seen an empty what do they call it now, ceremony, burial ceremony. I've not seen an empty one. Like I've not seen somebody that they say nobody came. No. Everybody, belongs somewhere. You may not know, but just as Lysias said, you will definitely find, the right people for you. Yeah. So don't just quit and say, oh, everybody is the same and all that and all. Okay, now that's bringing me to a particular point, Lysias. That is the way. There's no need to even say too much. The way people appreciate people that have been there for them is not the way it should be. For me, I feel that people appreciate people more when they are gone, and it doesn't make sense when they are no more. So I think, but while preparing for this particular podcast, something came to my mind. Is that people don't know when to show appreciation. So you see somebody helped you 4 years ago, 5 years ago. You didn't get to say thank you. You didn't get to reach out to that person. And then the person is going to be like, I remember 10 years ago. I mean, do you know that if you had said something, it would have helped? Many people are really dying of loneliness from that place of, okay, they expected much from the people that they showed emotion. And then all of a sudden, those people are not there to show that emotion. Some people just feel that they've given too much and they did not get anything in return. I like to call it lack of fulfillment. So what time frame do you think should be given to when somebody shows you something, appreciation? How do you now show that person back? Oh, I'm grateful. I think there's something we should learn from here.
I think number one is you see, a lot is happening in the world, all right, and people have a lot that they are dealing with, so there's always that possibility that you're going to be self-centered. Now, not in a negative way, all right, you're thinking about yourself, what you're going through, how you're dealing with it on a daily basis, so oftentimes when those people are not readily around you, that you encounter them maybe twice a week, 3 times a week or thereabout, they tend to be out of your circle, all right. But you see, I think that we all need to make a note, sometimes make an appraisal of yourself, okay? Wake up maybe like on the weekend, sit down, think about your life, the people that have been there for you, when last did you speak to them, and then you're going to forget, so you do like a to-do list, and then you either try to read them through text message, calls, just Just that's the way to get it done. All right. If you don't have a to-do list, it's possible for you to forget. All right, because there's so much that is going on around you. Take a city like Lagos, for instance. You could be living on one end, your other person is living on the other end.
Right.
You're not working in the same place. You don't go to the same religious. You don't partake in the same religious activities.
That's right.
So you don't get to see them often. So you're dealing with your own issues, they're also dealing with their own issues. And also know that telecommunication itself is a two-way thing. If I don't call you, also call me. But if the person doesn't call you, that person is also dealing with a lot of stuff in his life. So please don't feel bad. Don't feel bad that you reached out to somebody and you spoke to him today, you spoke to him next week, and then you've been the one calling and it's not reaching out. Just know also that the person has to also step up his game. It has nothing to do about you. All right, the person also has to pick up his own game and also try to reach out. Let's learn to be appreciative also. Once in a while, simple text message, and the person gets to know, this person has reached out.
Yeah, and also you could also do with thank you. It doesn't mean that you become a burden because you're showing appreciation. You could do with just thank you. All right. So I just want this moment, somebody that has been an angel in human form, maybe watching, can you just look at that person right now and just appreciate that person before we go?
A lot of them are coming to mind. Let me see. One, can we mention
No, names? You don't mention names.
All right, for you out there, I know you, you know me. You've been so kind to me. You've been a wonderful friend, much more than a brother. You stuck closer to me in my times of need. Your arms were around me even while we were not together. I just want to let you know that I appreciate you. I'm grateful that you have been in my life. You're such an angel. And if I've not said this before, men, they can't call men angels. So you are also an angel. You can give yourself a name. You are one of my heroes. God bless you.
Yeah, God bless you. It's a thank you also for those of you that have been there. You know yourself. All right, for those of you watching and our viewers, come on, like this content. I mean, you can share it also just to bless someone. And we would like to know who has been an angel in human form. We're not here to spoil your mood. All right, I know you've had some experiences, but I mean, who is that person that has stuck close to you? Can you use the comment section to at least write something about the person? And who knows, the person may just be watching and reading. Let's learn to spread the love. This is what Let It Be it's about. No matter what comes your way, you keep going, knowing fully well that there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
That's right. That's right.
All right, and don't forget our handle is Expand with Susan Ozono and
Lysias and Susan.
Okay, so but this is all we have for you today on this podcast. Let us know how it has, blessed you. Let us know if you've learned one or two things from inside. And again, don't forget we'll be here same time
next week.
Okay, bye-bye.